房子不是自己的，那是属于公家的，这大家都是一样的。这个是这个国家的财产，你也不能占用。共产党恩情像海洋。只是给你使用。所以呢，他有什么事情呢？这个国家的这个机动性就比较大。你想要改造一下，或者想要怎么，好像换一套房子都要向政府申请，集中精力，集中全国的这个力量来办事。家的概念呢没有，就是你住的地方房子在中国老百姓来讲，这是一个最大的这个消费品。改革以前那是不收的。
房子的面积呢普遍不大，所以有的家庭呢会对房间因为不够住嘛进行改造，比如把阳台封闭做一个房间。顶楼的住户呢有时会在楼顶搭建一些类似棚屋的简易房。所以现在的市政府对这些老房子呢进行大量拆迁。其实百姓呢是对这个有看法的，这些房子大部分住的都是老年人。强制拆迁呢会加大了百姓的经济负担。还有一些老房呢当时建呢是有历史意义的，无保留的强拆呢将许多的历史意义或者是老百姓的记忆全部都清除掉了。反正我觉得国内现在盖新房子的速度太快了，而且拆迁对国内的居民也没有多少好处。
The rapid development of China's real estate market following the housing reform, both the government and property developers release the economic benefits involved, with many cities caught in the circle of demolition and then construction. 2 decades of rapid construction has resulted in over 100 million empty housing in China today, with many people using homes as investments. The seeming injustice is that with so many empty housing, most Chinese people still cannot afford the high cost of housing, and many young people are left without a home.
So this is an example of a ghost town. This is a more populated ghost town. There's a lot.
来自内蒙古呼和浩特，今年21，来北京3年了。原先住的地下室，现在还住的是地下室。
Now the government and property developers continue to build high-rise towers for profit. At the same time, the majority of residents in old neighborhoods are elderly, and demolition will cause financial pressure and inconvenience to their lives. My proposal is to link the residential buildings to protect the community from demolition as a response to the Chinese government's housing strategy and severe commodification of housing in recent years. The site of my project is in Wuhu, China, the workers' village where my grandfather used to live, which was included in the government's demolition program last year.
The Wuhu government has announced its intention to commence the demolition of Yanzhi New Village this summer as part of its urban development and revitalization efforts. This decision comes after careful consideration and consultation with various stakeholders, including local residents and urban planning experts.
I'm Wu, a retired architect. The government distributes this flat 40 years ago, and I've never left here. I don't understand why they continue to build housing that no one lives in. Maybe they are short of money. I've been preparing for this plan for 2 years at that time. I remember the delegates from every building coming that day, as some people seem anxious. Have you heard united we stand, divided we fall? And that's what United program is all about. If we could connect all the housings together, it might make that mission very difficult. But the consequences of doing that is everyone in the community will lose their citizen registration, as well as food, energy, healthcare, education, and other resources. After the vote, to my surprise, most of the delegates chose to vote in favor. As we began our first builds, the government wanted us to revoke citizen registration. Energy and food were the highest priorities for us. We started building solar panels on the facade and roof, which were placed as far as possible on the outside of the stairwell, in order to minimize the blockage of natural light. Some red water tanks are the devices we use to collect and purify rainwater. The rest of the roof was used to grow grains and raise chickens. We can only eat a small number of types of vegetables for now, due to the limitations of the growing environment. Like the eggplant you love, we still can't grow it. The committee selected residents with previous growing experience to take care of our grains on a daily basis. They would check the growth of the wheat in the early morning hours and adjust the nutrient solution formula at any time. Honestly, this job is not easy. Do you remember that rooftop chicken farm where you used to collect freshly laid eggs and show them excitedly to your grandma and me? Some of those eggs would be used to hatch chicks, while others would be distributed to each family. I remember you and your friend said you were worried that the chickens would be unhappy in their cages every day. And then, we actually built a playground for them with branches and planks. To be honest, I like to spend time with the kids when I'm tired. Playing with you makes me feel like a kid again. After United program started, I proposed to the committee to build some recreational facilities so that we could have a place to get together and have some fun. Every week they change the activities, and recently I think, it's my favorite mahjong. You once told me your school looks special, but do you know how it was built? Our neighbors demolished their privately owned extensions, and these materials were put back together to build your current school. Some of the residents who were teachers before took on the task of teaching you the basics. Other than that, the workshop teachers are rotated every once in a while, and they are from different professions. Like your favorite craft class, that teacher Lee used to be an excellent carpentry. Recently, I have been feeling tightness in my chest from time to time. A few days ago, I went to the community clinic between Block 6 and 7. Dr. Chen, who was sitting that day, is a friend of my wife for many years. I told her about some recent symptoms, as she assured me that it was just some minor problems. She then gave me a more detailed examination, during which I fell asleep. When I woke up again, I was already lying in the next bed, and the nurse on the side smiled and told me that I could recover and go home very soon.
The above story was my grandpa told to me when I was 10 years old, while he was lying on the clinic bed, but he didn't know that the government had finally made up its mind to demolish our community. This project lasted a long time, and at last, I borrowed a large sum of money to buy a small apartment across the street.